Make sure it's securely placed under the frame rails there. So you don't actually have to remove the power steering pump to get this out. You're just going to use a real long reach pro style wrench, 22. Just using a 22 here. Just going to use the box end like this with this side down. And just wrench that loose. Make sure you have a catch pan. All right, while this is draining out, I'm going to go ahead and get the other side pulled out. So this is a setup I'm using here, 19. Yes, it is a different size on the opposite end. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take it and put it right there on the end of that. So that's what it's going to look like. And you're just going to carefully break this loose and take it out. Here's the new hose. It's from Napa. Comes with new copper washers. Just take note, there's two different size washers. There's two small ones and two large ones. The large ones are for the 22 and the small ones are for the 19. There is a top washer and a bottom washer. So make sure you have both of those in when you torque them down. So an easy way to see how the hose goes in there, just gently pull the old one down just about out, and then just lay the new one on top of it. It'll help you to orient it and know which way it goes in there. Just a quick tip. So I'm going to go ahead and fish this up over the AC line and get it in there. So as you can see, there's a washer on either side. And as you can see, I routed it over the AC hose here. So there's the rubber mount it's going to attach to. All right, and this is the other mount. You're going to want to have a magnet because that bolt dropped right down in there. Also, you're going to want to have this thing in place on the brackets. So this piece comes straight down in, and all you have to do is slip the washer in and then put the bolt in. You're going to want to make sure that you have that right where you want it, and then you're just going to slip that in behind it and from the front side, and then tighten it from the back. Okay, so I'm going to tighten this one down to 28 foot-pounds. The banjo bolt that is at the power steering pump, which is over here, this one's going to be tightened down to 22 foot-pounds. And this is a 2.0 model manual transmission. Each car is different, but it can give you an idea on other cars like 1.8T, VR6, 1.9 diesel. Okay, so both of these bracket bolts are held on by 13s. You're going to want to use a stubby with a wobbler extension and a smaller extension with the 13mm socket to get to the one that's next to the radiator. And then the one under the car, you don't really need too big of an extension for, just a good ratchet and a 13. So you just want to make them loose so you have enough flex to get where you need to be, and then tighten it down the rest of the way. Okay, so how I got this on here. You're going to be working by feel with this because you're not going to be able to see around your hands. So the best way to do it is to put the bolt and the bolt washer, the top one, on through it first. Then once it's the whole way through, then slip the bottom washer over the bolt. Then you're going to want to feel for the hole, the threaded hole that goes into the steering rack, and you're going to want to just gently start it. It also helps if you turn it backwards a little bit, a couple of turns, and then turn forward. That usually will help. Try to keep it as straight as you can, and also if you have to, try to hold the washer onto the back of it as you're threading it in with your two fingers, your index finger, and also try to hold the hose at the same time up and out of the way. It might take you a couple minutes. Okay, this is how it should look installed. It's going to go around the AC hose to the bracket, Tighten down snug around the transmission. Snug down here on the transmission, up and over the CV axle, and torque down into place. You're also going to want to make sure you get some power steering fluid. This is the max life that I use. It's good for European cars, high mileage cars, which is what this is. I'm not going to use any real fancy equipment here. This unique looking cap is for the power steering reservoir, and the way to get this off is just get a real nice pair of soft regular pliers and just gently squeeze in just a little bit and just set up like that. Do this by hand, and you're going to want to top this off. Now I just topped this off to put fluid in it. You're going to want to top it off because it's going to be probably empty, and you're going to want to tighten this down and start the car up. Let it run for about a minute. Turn the car off and then check the reservoir. It's going to need more fluid, so just keep topping it off. Let the car run for another minute or two. Turn the wheel left and right just a little bit, not lock to lock. You don't want to stress the pump yet if it doesn't have a lot of fluid in it, or the rack. And just do that a couple times and recheck it 4 or 5 times until you're confident it has enough fluid, and then go for a test drive, come back, check it, top it off again. Any air that got into the rack itself or into the pump or the hose will bleed out through the top of the reservoir. It'll work itself out. So just to go for a test drive, idle it around a little bit, and it should be good to go. Right here's where it rusted out, and you can see where the hose itself actually cracked, where the bracket holds it on. Just pinhole cracks and just leaked right out. So that's the end of life for that one. Quick tip. Jeez, I can't say. Okay, quick tip. You're going to want to have a magnet. Okay. So to take the pump out of the car, actually, okay, so I can edit this out. You don't have to actually remove the pump either. All right, so just using a 22 here, and I use the tilted end of the box end. So as you can see, there's the lower washers on there, and the upper one. Got a washer on either side. So as you can see, there's a washer on either side, and this is, so you can see I routed it over the AC hose. Right. Okay. So as you can see, I routed it around the AC hose. It's going to be attached here at this. So there's the rubber mount it's going to attach to. This is the max life that I use. It's good for European cars, high mileage cars, which is what this is. You know, end of life vehicles that you're extending for just a little bit longer. It's perfect for that. Pretty good. Oops, sorry, I'm just recording it if I can get. Okay, so